Hello, this is Russell from
Tones of Evil.
and you're listening to Capes and Lunatics.
Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend D.G. Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Recording has started. Oh, goodness. You know, Luca sounds so fresh and pure and a child not yet exposed to this toxic fandom. It gives me joy, but I know it will in time ebb. Hey everyone, welcome to Capes and Lunatics Avengers Declassified. Because in a world of Capes and Lunatics, there will come a time where no one hero can stand against the villain amassed, but multiple heroes may join together to avenge the crimes perpetrated. Hey, Philip.
Hello.
Welcome. Hey, did you read all new, all different Avengers 3 through
4 through 6, yes I did.
6, I think?
4 through 6, yes I did.
4 through 6. 4 through 6, even better. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you, Phil. I think there's something wrong with the Vision.
You think?
I'm maybe went out on a limb here, but I think the Vision is having some issues, and you know, I do like Kang in the sense that he is a variant of Kang who doesn't even know if he is King Prime anymore, which tells me, Phil, this is the structure of Feige's
Technical difficulties, please stand by. And I believe Charlie Esser is correct that they said, yes, Feige, Kevin Feige, the whole MCU thing, yes, we're going to get multiple versions of Kang, like we already got, what is that, He Who Waits? So, yes. Well, once again, live action media, like the Flash TV show, following in the footsteps of Mark Waid's writing, which seems to happen. Again, Mark Waid is a very good writer, so, I guess steal from the best. Adapt from the best. So, yes. We're going to be getting various Kangs in the MCU. This also reminded me, not to bring up bad memories, but the Avengers, anyone remember The Crossing from the mid-90s? Like, was that 95, 96? Where basically someone who was pretending to be Kang, like, basically brainwashed Tony Stark, and, all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, Iron Man's been Kang's mole for years. Kind of reminded me of that, but done much better because it was Mark Waid. Even that Crossing story from the 90s, that was basically, wasn't even Kang. Like, oh, it's a bunch of Skrulls or something.
back.
There he is.
So I was eating baby back ribs.
Want my baby back. No, I was saying, I'm like, yeah, I think you're right. I think they've already said we're going to be getting even multiple Kangs in the MCU and stuff. But again, this was written by Mark Waid, and a lot of these shows and movies, take stuff Mark Waid's done. Like the Flash TV show takes a ton of stuff from stuff Mark Waid's written.
Wade is good.
I mean, I like that. It's like,
he's a good writer.
I like that. It's like, Kang has crossed timelines so many times. It's like, but when you do that, there's going to be a price to pay where, am I the original? I don't know.
There's always a price, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
As freaking Monica with the Prince of Magic tried to tell us years ago, Phil. Monica, the Prince of Magic, tried to tell us, like, dude, you can't just keep on pulling. that's gonna end.
Uh-huh.
And even with Avengers Forever, where they're like, I'm Doctor Doom and I can keep on fighting people to sacrifice, there is a law of diminishing returns.
Oh, yeah.
Freaking Doom. Honestly, the fact that you can keep on sacrificing people, it's just like, yeah, sure, Doom. We're just waiting until you're done. And they're going to have so much to feast on Doom's soul when he's done. Because at the end of the day, Doom is just an idiot. And
well, he's a college dropout.
He's a dropout. He doesn't know, Phil, not to be rude, but when I went to college, maybe when you went to college too, there were all these credit card companies asking me to sign up for a card. And the reason they did this, because my credit was pristine. And so they asked me to join, and they gave me a Frisbee. And the fact of the matter is I didn't pay those debts back.
Hey, college. Some people ruin their credit. Some people blow their faces off. Well,
but the idea is that at the end of the day, it's, you know what, you make your choices. And
I know.
Yes, as a young man, I totally overextended my credit, and they lost money on me. But as I always say, that was their fault for giving an idiot like me a loan.
Mm-hmm.
They should have known better. So when I go bankrupt, that's really on them. Not on me. It's on them. It's like, dude, you really thought I could pay this back? In 18 hours, it will be, I think, 6 a.m. Okay.
Thanks for playing.
That is random from my child.
Jeez. But
anyway,
like I like Wade's writing because it's like he does like modern storytelling, but he does like the classic stuff too. Because like in issue 4, we get the return to Jarvis. I'm like, you need Jarvis, even if you only have a hangar and one plane, and not a whole mansion.
Didn't hear a word you just said, but that's fine.
Jarvis, Jarvis. Can you hear me,
dude? I'm vaguely, yes. I hear you, and it is a falling cascade.
Hello.
Hello, Philip.
Hello.
I can hear you.
Okay.
When you say one word.
Okay. Well, I said I like what they did with Jarvis. I love how he brought back Jarvis for that classic Avengers feel. So what happens, kids? We can work with that Jersey Wi-Fi. Anyway, yes. I mean, like I said again, I love what Wade did with classic. He brought in the kids for that new feel. He brought in Jarvis for that classic feel. Even though Tony Stark is kind of on the downswing here, there's no mansion. It's basically just this team of Avengers working out of like basically a warehouse or a hangar, and they have one Quinjet. I think Tony Stark says he only has like 1 or 2 satellites in orbit. So yes, kids, he's so poor. He only has 1 or 2 satellites. But yeah, I like this. I like what Wade does. I think Wade explores Jane Foster Thor even like a lot. Like one of the aspects I think he did better here than they even did in the main Thor book. Here we go. Is just, Jane Foster's, has cancer. She's like, this could be my last days. Hey, I'm Thor. That's cool. But hey, let's, if I'm going to do stuff, let's, she wants to make out with Sam Wilson. Let's make out with Sam Wilson, live every moment of that life to the fullest, and some of the Avengers, like, some of the adult Avengers are like, hey, this is kind of weird that this supposed immortals talking about, possibly living life like this could be their last day on Earth, Hello, Jared.
Hello, team. Ribs. Anyway,
like I said, I like some of the stuff Wade was doing, just like with Jarvis and like Jane Foster, I said I thought Wade did some good stuff with Jane Foster that they didn't even do in the main Thor book at the time. It's like, she has cancer, so it's like, supposedly she has immortal power.
I mean, honestly, the Jane Foster reveal is my favorite part of this, because it is literally just, if I don't have my hammer, I die, which is so much better than just, if I don't have my hammer, I become a renowned surgeon, which was the previous curse. I really like Jane and Sam together as a ship. I feel like that ship was stifled.
Well, it's kind of hard too when it takes place in a team book, especially when both characters also have solo books. It's like the solo books, I guess, always take precedent. And there he goes again. Yes, I've talked to many comic creators, and I believe they are all in agreement where it's like, yes, one of the challenges of writing a team book is that characters who have their own solo titles, you have to work with what what they're doing. So sometimes, so if you see a team book and you're like, hey, most or all of these characters don't have a monthly book, trust me, it's better for, a lot of times it's better for the writers. Case in point, J.M.D. Mateus's Justice League, a lot of the characters he got didn't have a monthly title, but he spun gold out of that. Hello,
I'm back. I do not know what is causing the problems right now. But problems are occurring.
The Wi-Fi's drunk. No. But I
wish I could blame my drunkenness on the Wi-Fi, but
no, it's the Wi-Fi.
It's been clean and sober all day.
I like.
Phil,
yes.
Tell me your story, Phil.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like you were saying before, I like the whole Sam and Jane Foster thing, but it's like, again, it takes place in the team book. They both have their own monthly book, so those are going to take precedent. But and again, I like the Jane thing where it's like, she's living as an immortal, but it's like she has cancer, so she's also living her life like, hey, this could be my last day on Earth.
Which is that kind of thing that I don't think Takia is going to address.
Mm-mm.
Like when we get into the MCU aspect of this, I think there's a weight to Jane Foster taking the hammer that can be explored over multiple issues.
Months and
that
months,
won't be explored in Love and Thunder. I think they have too many stories to tell, and that worries me to some extent.
Well, that's always the weakness with these movies and the live action stuff. It's like, you only have hours to tell this story that's, some in the comics might have taken months or years to tell.
Well, yeah, I mean, that is the truth of it, is that it takes months to tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to tell it in 2 hours, and you often can't tell that story. But that is what the MCU is trying to do. So far, they've done a well job of it. With the Disney Plus stories, they're going to tell more. But at the end of the day, you have to go back and say, what is the story they're actually telling? Anyway, in this story, we get some nice Kamala Khan.
Yes.
We get some nice Miles Morales.
Mm-hmm.
We get a little bit of Tony Stark. And I do feel like, quite frankly, when Kang shows up, and he doesn't even know if he is Kang, I think that is the selling point of this entire book.
Yes.
Which is the idea that the timeline has split. I don't know if I am even the king that will be the king. But I just know I'm here now. And I need to deal with conquering this universe as you do. And at a certain point, someone should come to Kang and say, like, dude, is this really the hill you want to die on? Is this worth the effort? You want to be king of the Omniverse, I guess? But you already know there's an Omniverse, which means you know no matter what you do, you will never be the king of the Omniverse.
Omniverse sounds like a lot of paperwork.
Maybe you want to...
Sounds like a lot of paperwork.
It's a lot of paperwork. Goodness, man. Don't even get me started on the multiverse. Just the multiverse is paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
And at a certain point, you're like, dude, is this the job you want? I mean, I want to control all things, but, dude, have you looked at the admin aspect of this? And this I honestly feel is most organizations. It's like, dude, so much of every organization is just a bunch of faceless people processing paperwork. I mean, do you really want to be in charge of that? And, because they want the Kang, they want to be the conqueror, they want to stab people with their magic swords and whatnot. And at a certain point, you're like, dude, that's like 5% of what you do as Emperor of the Universe. 5% is you get to stab someone. Most of it is just paperwork.
We had a whole council of Kangs and they couldn't get anything done.
Because they were bad at the jobs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. When you want to think of the universe or the world or the tri-state area, as Doofenshmirtz would do, at a certain point you're like, dude, there's a lot of paperwork involved. That is why the self-replicating bureaucracy is the greatest weapon against tyranny, even though people don't realize it. Is you have the self-replicating bureaucracy. No one cares who's in charge of things.
No.
They just know that, dude, did you file the proper paperwork for that? And if they say no, they say, well, dude, go file the paperwork. I don't know who you are, but I do recognize the authority of the paperwork. And all of your stabbing means nothing compared to paperwork. Mm-hmm. So that's my take on it. I don't know, Phil. How did we get here? We were talking about Avengers.
No, we were talking about Kang.
All different Avengers, which led to Kang, which led to this. Next week, we get Tony Stark's all different Avengers facing off against the Unity Squad, which I don't know why that's a thing for Tony. There's a lot of ego involved.
Well, that's it. That's Tony Stark.
Yeah, but it's like, I get the feeling like Kamala and Miles will be like, no, we're not cool with just fighting other heroes because that sounds stupid, sir.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. It's like so much of comic books is, oh, let's have a random misunderstanding and we'll punch. I get a feel like younger kids are like, dude, that's really, really stupid. If I'm Captain America, I know who Spider-Man is. I may not always agree with him, but I'm going to ask him, like, dude, why are you attacking Hydra? And it's like, well, because Hydra's evil. It's like, no, I agree with that, but why are we doing this?
I think that's
at that point, Spider-Man.
I think that's a big point of this.
Please, Phil.
I think that's a big point of this series. Like Kamala and Miles, like we're looking up to all these heroes, and it's like, no, guys like Tony Stark are flying by the seat of their pants every day. Mm-hmm. You know, they see all these. They saw everyone as infallible, including Tony Stark, and it's like, no.
Exactly, and their pants aren't that good. And to me, that's the real point of this, is their pants are probably fairly poor.
Whoop.
Philip, I want to talk a fan theory real quick, because this is a show, and we're discussing Ms. Marvel. What if, Phil, the MCU Ms. Marvel, those bands she finds aren't the quantum bands, as people have theorized, but are the nega bands? And you will note, their magic is purple, which is the color of death magic, of anti-magic. And so you will get this idea that it's not evil, the negative zone, the antimatter universe. It is simply another universe that Ms. Marvel is tapping into. And this idea of a Kree science that gives you access to the negative zone and its 0 point energy becomes a valuable commodity. What do you think, Phil?
I mean, I'm sure. I mean, they can change up anything for the shows, but I mean, like we see her like using constructs. It looks like nega bands never made constructs. I know quantum bands did, but again, I mean, they can change all that up. But
yeah, no, I understand the premise of why quantum bands serve this purpose. What I'm saying is
I know
that
the negative
color
with the negative zone, yeah.
The choice of color, which is purple, which is dark purple, suggests to me an antimatter reality, much like Dormammu, that suddenly makes all of this different. That's just me. That's just my opinion.
I mean, we could, but I don't see them doing that season 1. I mean, what do we get? 6 episodes and we're introducing this brand new character. I mean, unless they hint at something, but...
Well, that's the idea, is it's what you hint at.
Yeah.
And then it lays the track for future stories. But my idea is the idea even that Ms. Marvel is using a negative antimatter energy when she works with positive photonic and other energies from from our universe, and they say, "Oh goodness, your energy isn't really compatible with ours. Your energy is the anti-energy," and that I think builds a story to be told.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, I guess we could. I was going to say that we're going to do in the negative zone before Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Why not? Why not do everything before the Fantastic Four shows up?
I mean, unless use that to introduce the Fantastic Four somehow.
I mean, it's entirely possible you could. I mean, that's the thing. It's like when she's using these nega bands, suddenly Chris Evans shows up as the Fantastic Four, as the Human Torch. It is a possibility. But more likely, if you're going to do... So, here's my fan theory on the FF, is that Reed used the power structures of the snaps to bring back Sue and Johnny, even though he couldn't bring back everyone, he brought them back, and he brought them back using negative zone energy. I mean that's the idea. It's like, however you're going to create it, it's the idea that after the snap, Reed wanted to bring back Sue and Johnny.
Yeah.
And because there's that 5-year gap, that explains why Sue is younger than Reed.
Yeah.
So it's not as creepy. Because he's been spending 5 years trying to bring her back. And I think the idea that Reed fixes it before the Hulk does is super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just the idea, like, no, I had a readout of the power. I knew what the power was. I rebuilt the power, and here is Sue and Johnny. Because I did it expressly to bring them back. And maybe in the bringing them back, it released so much CBR that that's where everyone else got powers. Maybe. I don't know, Phil.
Maybe.
There's a lot of possibilities. Oh, goodness, Phil. That was Avengers Declassified. Do you have anything else you want to talk about tonight on Avengers Declassified?
Did you want to mention Avengers Forever or the new issue? Or?
Well, I mean, honestly, it was much more engulfed in King Conan.
Oh, okay.
Who is a savage Avenger.
Yeah.
And his dealings with Toth Amon. But we can talk Avengers Forever as well, which deals with the idea of effectively a T'Challa who is sent out amongst the multiverse.
Yeah, basically the Superman origin, but yeah, the parents shoot him off into the multiverse, yeah.
Yeah, which is a little weird.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you, because it's like, it's not like, oh, well, the yellow sun makes you Superman. But by the end of it, we kind of see him as like, yeah, you are Blue Marvel.
Yeah.
By the end of it. It's like, you are a Superman pastiche. And why, we don't know, but we're going to accept it. He has to fight Killmonger. And it's the ultimate Killmonger, which is like, really? Were we that concerned about Killmonger?
I mean, I appreciate these modern stories, but every month it doesn't have to be like a multiverse shaking event for me. It's, let's punch the masters of evil in the face every so often. It doesn't have to be, the death of everything every month.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I am desperately awaiting the Defenders versus the Beyonder. I want my Beyonder back. I want the Beyonder to be a thing, and I want that to be the story we explore.
And I know everyone's doing it now. It's all popular, but enough with the variants, okay? Chill with variants for a while.
There's a whole series of freaking, what's her name? I've totally forgotten her name, but she's married to Luke Cage.
Oh, yeah, Jessica Jones, yeah.
Jessica Jones. There's an entire series called Jessica Jones Variants.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? Do we need Jessica Jones variants?
I mean, they're trying to cash in. They're making variants of everybody.
She could be variants. Honestly, honestly, to me, it feels like the books are now pulling from the movies, and like that is the wrong direction. It's like the movie should pull from the books.
Exactly. Plus, they're trying to cash it on variants of everyone, so everyone can be like, oh, "I like this Jessica Jones. Oh, I like this Jessica Jones."
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, you know what?
They're watering down every brand, and it's like, they think they're going to bring more people to the table, but you're just going to alienate a lot of people.
I mean, the comics people should just understand their work is just building bricks. And later, someone might decide to take a part of their story and make it a movie. But, they're all too filled with themselves to allow a part of their story to make a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, no, I should get $1 million because you decided that Batman should be old. It's like, dude, that's like the 10th thing on our list about the story we're telling. We will acknowledge you in the critics. We're going to give you some money. Call it a day. But that's the world we live in. Philip, if people would like to give us money, how can they do so?
If you always like to, if you want to get a hold of us, you can always send your thoughts to CapesandLunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And you can also find our YouTube channel, all the social media. Again, the money, Patreon, subscribe to the Patreon, you get exclusive content, creator interviews, superhero movie brackets, where we review 2 bad superhero movies, Capes and Lunatics merchandise. There's always even the Cash App link if you just want to send us money for nothing. So, but yeah, find everything at Linktree, linktr.ee/CapesandLunatics.
And of course, you know, write to me in that old-fashioned email way, where your mothers and fathers once did. That's Super Connectivity Blog, all one word. That's Super Connectivity Blog at gmail.com. Of course, follow me on the Twitter as I live tweet things when I feel like it. At CHARLIEESSER. I forgot if it was Chaz Esser or Charlie Esser. It was Charlie Esser. CHARLIEESSER. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Thank you, Mods. See, that's how I should remember it.
That's right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. This has been another episode of Avengers Unmasked. Please come back again next week as we once again reveal the dark underbelly of the Avengers universe. Thank you.
Or we declassify everything.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Avengers Declassified.
That's all right.
I'm bad at this. Avengers Declassified.
There you go.
Hi, I'm Pax.
And I'm Abigail.
Welcome to Ghost Spider Groupies, a podcast dedicated to Gwen Stacy of Earth 65, also known as Spider-Gwen and Ghost Spider, where we review her comics, discuss news, and give our opinions about all things Gwen 65.
Right now, we are reading through Gwen's main solo series. Each week, we break down a new arc and discuss our and the listener's thoughts. Tune into each episode and come on this journey through the character's history with us, available wherever you listen to your podcasts.